The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome as we start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that all is well with you and yours in your world since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you and yours roughly some 24 hours ago. Speaking of 24 hours ago, the Louisiana legislature convening an historic veto session, the very first one since the adoption of the current state constitution back in 1974. Little quick math, 1974 would be 26 and 21, 47 years since we've seen an action like this from the Louisiana legislature. 2 bills in particular have garnered most of the interest. Of the 28 that were vetoed by Governor John Bel Edwards, the 2 that were the most controversial and generated the most passionate arguments, both pro and con, were obviously the concealed carry without a permit, which, by the way, failed yesterday to make it out of the Senate by a vote of 23-15. The transgender veto bill, also generating a lot of emotion, a lot of passion, and as you can just about imagine, there were all sorts of arguments made regarding it. In case you have just been totally out of the loop, this bill would ban transgender athletes from competing in or against biological females, meaning a young man that, quote, identifies as a female would not be allowed to compete against biological females. It is probably most notably separated by 2 arguments. One, for the life of me, and listen, I will be the first to acknowledge I'm old school. All right? I'm a baby boomer. I'm getting up in age. I cling to my traditional values, and the argument of it being discriminatory against transgender individuals carries no weight with me at all. And the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, for me, my humble opinion only, the discrimination is against the biological females who should have the right to participate in competitive sports against others that share the same biological traits that they do. It's a pretty simple solution, and it's relatively simple to figure out. Of course, now, we all understand that there is an agenda at work here. But you know, it's real easy to figure out who slept in biology class in high school and who didn't. Simple fact of the matter is, unless and until you can change an individual's chromosomes, you are what you are. Pure and simple. Unless and until you change a person's chromosomes, they are who they are. I can all day long identify as being whatever. Well, I identify as being a car. Okay, I got an engine, that's my heart, my circulatory, respiratory system. I have wheels, my feet that I get around on. I have a horn, my voice. I have windshield wipers, my eyelids. I identify as a car. But that doesn't make me a BMW, does it? How, for the life of me, individuals have allowed this to progress to this point really says a lot about who we are as a society. Interestingly, there was an attempt to frame this debate in economic terms. For example, New Orleans Democrat Karen Carter Peterson said passing this law would threaten our state's ability to attract business and sporting events, saying that 400 major corporations have publicly stated opposition to discrimination against transgender people. Quote, "You can't have it both ways. You either want business to come to Louisiana or you can discriminate." Well, I am not, for the sake of this conversation, going to argue the numbers, 400 businesses that have gone on record as being against discrimination against transgender individuals. I just wonder what the number would be of individuals that would applaud a state making sure that the playing field, pardon the pun, is level across the board. If you buy into the argument that some attempted to make that this is a solution looking for a problem, well, all you have to do is look around you and see how many municipalities, how many states, how many countries the International Olympic Committee has bought in to this malarkey. I mean, for the first time in the history of the Olympics, there will be a guy who thinks he's a woman competing against women in powerlifting. How in God's name anybody could think that's fair is beyond me. Of course, now this is what humanity has become in this day and age. This is what the mainstream media and the politicians have been able to hoodwink so many people on. And at the end of the day, a thinking person has to ask, if you will change something as basic, something as fundamental, something as established as the difference between males and females, where do we go from here? If you can change something that, since the advent of humankind, has been in place and served us well, if you change that, what's next? And where does that lead us as a species? Some things, to phrase the often quoted statesman and philosopher Barney Fife, some things you just got to nip in the bud. You got to nip this stuff in the bud, because once it starts, you open a door that you will never, ever get closed again. Sadly, we are being inundated with this foolishness to the point where when we boomers leave the scene, the generations that follow, this will be all they know. They will grow up as toddlers, as kids, as preteens, as teens, thinking that it's okay that, you know what, God made a mistake. He didn't mean for you to be a boy. He put you in a boy's body, but what did he know? You're actually a girl. Now, let me say for the record, if that is the way you think, I ain't mad at you. It is America. You have the right to that opinion. But you do not have the right to force me to agree with it. Your rights only extend as far as the tip of your nose. After that, you're stepping on somebody else's. And push come to shove, it is the will of the people, pure and simple, not the politicians, not the media, not the Hollywood elite. It is the will of the people that should be first and foremost on an issue like this. And bottom line, at least for the time being, the America that I know, the Americans that I know, we are the ones best suited to decide what I want my children taught. We are the ones best suited to decide what is fair for my kids, and not the government. If ever you doubted, when you've heard me say God knows how many times, government is not the answer to the problem. In most instances, government is the problem. If you don't see it by now, all I can tell you is keeping your eyes closed is worse than being blind. Now, some of y'all not going to get that till later, but that's okay, as long as you, at some point, get it. I also understand that there are a lot of y'all out there don't want anything to do with all that God stuff. Clarence, I know you're an American, I respect your opinion, but all that Jesus stuff, y'all can have all that. I get that. But at the end of the day, I will always revert to the word that says, in the beginning, and you know the rest. Oh, there's another part that said, male and female of each species made he. Let that sink in. As we go to commercial break, first one of this hour, the ungodly trend continues in Baton Rouge and many other cities. Juveniles killing folks. Y'all, if we don't wake up and do something about this real soon, I shudder to think where we're headed. We'll talk about that next as we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
You're invited to the Bridal Show of the Future, a new twist on the typical bridal expo. Come out to experience the food, dancing, meet and greet, wedding event professionals, and win fantastic prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. To purchase tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. All proceeds benefiting the VFW Post 3693 of Gonzales. Support your local veterans.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. If you are in any way, shape, or form staying up to speed on the increases in crime here in Louisiana, you have to be alarmed with what you're seeing as of late. Most notable in this ugly trend, for me, has to be the number of juveniles that are committing violent, deadly crime in this city and in many others. It is symptomatic of something that at the very core of our society needs to be addressed. Here in Baton Rouge, this week, a 16-year-old arrested for the shooting death of 20-year-old Keishan Thomas. According to police, this 16-year-old went to meet up with a 20-year-old for a drug transaction when he allegedly shot and robbed the 20-year-old. Upon making the arrest, police went and searched the home where this 16-year-old resides. In searching his house, they found illegal drugs, cash, and 4 illegal guns, one of which the Louisiana State Police Crime Lab ran ballistics tests on and confirmed it was the one used in the murder. 4 guns, cash, and illegal drugs found in the home of a 16-year-old. Now listen, y'all. I am the first to admit that I'm from a different day. But it makes you wonder what our parents were on to when they made no bones about the fact that you are living under my roof, and I, at any moment, whenever the mood strikes me, I will go through your room and I'll look anywhere I want to in your room or any other part of this house to find out what you are bringing under my roof. Sadly, and I have no statistical information to verify this, but my gut tells me if the Louisiana State Police Crime Lab were to run ballistics tests on these other 3 weapons, they will probably be linked to some other crimes committed around the Baton Rouge area. You do realize that so far, just this year alone in the Baton Rouge area, 8 juveniles have been arrested for crimes of violence that involve either murder or shooting someone. Just so far this year, 8 separate juveniles arrested for heinous crimes. You remember the one at the Fairway View Apartments where that darling 18-month-old was killed, involving a juvenile. You remember the ambush at the IHOP involving juveniles. Just this past weekend in Zachary, a 17-year-old sneaks into a man's home to visit his 14-year-old daughter. When confronted by the homeowner, shoots and kills him. And of course, the 15-year-old that carjacked a nurse at Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center, threatening to, quote, blow her effing head off. And that 15-year-old has now been linked to a number of other armed robberies as well. You know, some of y'all are not going to like this, but that's okay. It is not the first time Clarence Buggs has said something that you disagree with, and it won't be the last time that Clarence Buggs says something you don't like. But the fact of the matter is, out of all these cases, if anybody white or the police were involved, they would be held to pay. In all of these cases, all of these murders, all these people dying, all this carnage, where is Black Lives Matter? Where is the NAACP? Where is the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus? You know, it's interesting. All these groups that at the drop of a hat will stand in front of the Capitol and hold a press conference about trying to deny minorities voting rights, trying to deny minorities this, that, the other. Maybe I just missed it, and maybe you can help me. Maybe I missed where the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus filed a bill in this recent legislative session to try and do something about the ungodly number of young black men murdering other young black men. Maybe I missed it. Maybe there was a big old press conference. Maybe they put forth all sorts of legislation. Y'all realize I'm kidding, right? None of that happened. None of that happened. The clergy, particularly silent. And in the meantime, the bloodletting continues. Listen, y'all, I like District Attorney Hiller Moore. Hiller's a good guy. I wouldn't be in his shoes for all the money that the federal government can print and give away, but I like him as a person. But at the end of the day, BRPD Chief Murphy Paul, EBR Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome, all they can do is be reactionary. At the end of the day, bottom line, y'all, this comes down to parenting. When you have a 16-year-old in your home with 4 illegal guns, illegal drugs, and cash, you the problem. You are the problem. You know, you will hear, if you talk with boomers, and Marty and I were just talking about this morning, there was a time for parents. Let your kid get a wild hair and decide, I don't want my parents in my room, so I'm going to close the door. Or better yet, I'm going to close the door and lock it. For most of us, when we left to go wherever it is we had to go that day, when we came back, our parents had taken the door off the hinges. There was no door. And they sent a very clear and strong message that I pay the bills here, I am responsible for your actions, and I will do whatever I need to do to ensure the safety of the other folks that live in this house and the other folks that live in the neighborhood. Now listen, y'all, I get it. I understand it's a different day. So many of y'all are more concerned with being your children's friend than you are being their parent. Well, Clarence, you got to understand it's a different day, and children got to have their safe spaces, and you can't hurt their self-esteem and all that. I get all that. But my question to you is, how's that working out for us? My question to you is, with 8 different juveniles so far this year, murdering people, maiming people, how is that working out for us? Listen, y'all, I need you to do me a huge favor. Before you know it, we will roll right back around to the next election cycle. There will be folks running on the local level, the state level, the national level. When they come to you to solicit your vote, do your buddy Clarence a huge favor, will you? Ask them, what is your plan to do something about this? If they cannot give you a concrete plan on dealing with this, don't give them your vote. Tell them up front, I'm not going to vote for you because you don't have a plan to fix this. Now, you come up with a plan, a workable one, come back to me, and I'll reconsider. But y'all, this is getting so far out of hand. And listen, for those of you that think, well, Clarence, that just happens in the bad parts of town and, you know, it's okay where I live. Listen, y'all, if we don't get a handle on this soon, rest assured, it is coming soon to a neighborhood near you. I'm not a betting man, but you can take that one to the bank, son. You can take that one to the bank. Who would have ever thought You can't go to work at the freaking hospital without having a 15-year-old knocking on your window, sticking a gun in your face, and telling you, give me your car, I'll blow your effing head off. Like I said, coming soon to a neighborhood near you. Bottom of the hour break. Let me get this out of the way. When we come back, we'll talk a little COVID-19 and some interesting developments. That's up next as we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. I think we have, barring a sudden spike, pardon the pun, in the resurgence of COVID-19 and particularly all the different variants that are out there, I think it's a fairly safe bet that we have pretty much we've just about reached the apex of individuals that plan to get vaccinated. It has been with increasing frequency as of late that individuals in politics and the media have bombarded individuals that have not been vaccinated against COVID-19 with charges, name-calling, shaming, the whole nine. You know what's particularly interesting in all of this? The number of Democrats / liberals / progressives that as of late, for the life of them, cannot understand the level of vaccine hesitancy in America. If you listen to them at face value, they, for the life of them, just cannot understand why y'all don't want to get the COVID-19 shot. Well, let's look at this, shall we? Remember when on the campaign trail, then presidential candidate and now Vice President Kamala Harris told any and everybody who would listen, if Donald Trump had anything to do with the vaccine, I'm not taking it and you shouldn't trust it. Remember that? Remember in the presidential debates when Joe Biden questioned whether or not we should trust this vaccine because, after all, Donald Trump was responsible for developing it. Remember that? New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, same thing. Chuck Schumer, same thing. Nancy Pelosi, same thing. If Donald Trump is developing that vaccine, y'all better watch out. I wouldn't trust it. But now you can't figure out why people are hesitant to get the vaccine? I guess maybe, just maybe, and I don't want to speak for these people. My mind doesn't work that way. But apparently, these folk figure your memory must be that short. Apparently, these people are of the opinion you don't listen to us anyway, and you really don't have a whole lot of stock in what we say, so we can say one thing today and then we'll flip-flop and say something else the next. Show you how you get played, okay? It's no secret, arguably, the most loyal part of the Democrat base are African American. Now, you spent all this time demonizing Donald Trump and the fact that he developed the vaccine. Y'all shouldn't trust it because Trump, you know Trump, he's racist and he's crazy, orange man bad. Spent all that time casting doubt and negative dispersions on the process and the vaccine. So African Americans, your loyal part of the base, listened to you. And today, who lags the furthest behind on COVID-19 vaccinations? Ding, 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 we got a winner. Now, you can make the argument, well, Clarence, I don't know how much it's got to do with that. You remember Tuskegee experiments and black folk are still cautious about that. I get that. That's a valid argument. But when the heads of this party cast all these negative dispersions, telling us to, be careful and watch out and this, that, and the other, now you're all that surprised that people actually listened to you? Show you how they play you. They spent all this time demonizing Donald Trump, the vaccine, and the process. But now that they are in power, they want to mandate that you get the shot that not so very long ago they were telling you, oh, you better not trust that. You see how they play you? I say you because I got hip to these folk a long time ago. A long time ago. And they will tell you, they will tell you how concerned we are and how we're doing everything within our power to mitigate the spread of COVID. And yet, you let hundreds of thousands of people walk across our border, set up shop here illegally, and then ship them all around the freaking country. Listen, y'all, I am not a betting man. Y'all know this. I understand the house always wins, so games of chance are not in my wheelhouse. But I'll take odds on this. Find out where all these hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants are being shipped around this country. That's where the next hot spots for COVID are going to be. You don't have to be Einstein to figure this one out, Hoss. You don't have to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier. You don't. Recently, touring our southern border, Ted Cruz said these facilities, these holding sections, are designed for 250 people. There are 4,200 people in a space designed to hold 250. So if one of them has COVID, what do you think the chances are that a whole lot more of them have it? And then we gonna take these folks and put them on buses, put them on planes, and ship them all around the freaking country. But I'm supposed to think you have my best interest at heart. There's an old adage that says a picture, one picture, is worth 1,000 words. And for an individual who makes his living with words, I understand and appreciate that uniquely. But all you have to do, y'all, don't listen to what they say, look at what they do. You are so concerned, and yet you let hundreds of thousands. Y'all realize we are on track this year for 2 million people to walk across our border and set up shop. Now, I don't know how far you went in the discipline of math. I don't know if you stopped at calculus or algebra or whatever it was. But 2 million folk coming across that border, the overwhelming majority of whom are not vaccinated for COVID, and now spread all around the country. What do you think the odds are of an outbreak everywhere they go? And yet, they will have you believe they have nothing but your best interest at heart. At some point, we're going to have to come up with a brand new word or phrase to replace hypocrite. Because for these folks, hypocrites does not begin to describe what they are. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. That'll tell you everything that you need to know. And quite frankly, I'm gonna save y'all some trouble. If you try to listen to what they say, make sure that you wrap your head in duct tape. Because with all the stuff they say, that's complete opposite of what they said yesterday and the day before and the day before. If you wrap your head in duct tape, at least when it explodes, you'll still have all the pieces. Final break of today's show. We'll get it done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
You're invited to the Bridal Show of the Future, a new twist on the typical bridal expo. Come out to experience the food, dancing, meet and greet, wedding event professionals, and win fantastic prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. To purchase tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. All proceeds benefiting the VFW Post 3693 of Gonzales. Support your local veterans.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. Thinking about yesterday's show, where we discussed the revelation that the White House and the Biden administration has been actively working with social media platforms to censor, quote, misinformation. You know, it occurred to me that if today's standard were to have been applied to the height of the coronavirus pandemic, how much better off we would be right now as a country in our collective fight against COVID-19. If it does not bother you having the federal government collude with social media to silence dissenting opinions, I don't know if I consider you a real American. At the end of the day, No one relishes the idea of being lied to. But what real Americans hate more than anything else is not being allowed to make up their own minds about things that affect them. You know, it's very ironic that this far into the game, after being demonized, after being called all sorts of ugly names, after having his opinions banned from social media, we now find out Donald Trump was actually right about a lot of the stuff that they refused to let his opinion out on. We now know hydroxychloroquine, yeah, it's viable. We now know, and even Democrats, most recent poll shows, yeah, coming out of Wuhan and the lab there, that's a very real possibility. But all of this stuff was poo-pooed by the media, laughed at us, called us all sorts of ugly names, and now we find out it was actually true. Are these the people you want in charge of what information you can and cannot have? Really? For you young people, for all the young people out there that are buying into the narrative of socialism, for all you young folks out there that are buying into the fact that capitalism is bad, socialism is better, communism can work if you just implement it the right way, here's your homework. Google Pravda. Pravda. I know they didn't teach you this in school, so I'll enlighten you. That was the Russian government's official media arm. What the government said you can know, that's what they told you. What the government said was the truth, even though you knew better, that's what they said. That's where we're heading with all this, y'all. At the end of the day, the thing that makes this country so much greater than many others, our freedoms and our liberties. You have the right to look at every single opinion out there, and then you decide what you believe. When we arrive at a point where the government is the ultimate arbiter of what is truth and what is not, you can stick a fork in us, son, because we're done. How many times has the government told us something that later on we found out was a flat out lie? Well, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Remember that one? Yeah. Go down the list. The number of times we've been told by the government that this is true or this is a lie, and we find out later on, well, you see what had happened was, how many times y'all gonna fall for that? At the end of the day, y'all, unlike Democrats, unlike this current administration, my faith is in the American people to be able to decide for themselves what they believe. I don't need you to filter out the things you don't agree with, because at that point, I'm no longer thinking, I'm just going along to get along. That is as anti-American a sentiment as you will ever find. And sadly, Life has shown us, while you may agree with them today, just keep breathing. It's not going to be long before something will come along that you don't agree with. And by then, you won't be allowed to write it. You won't be allowed to say it. You won't even be allowed to think it. All because you fell into the narrative that this person is so bad, Orange Man. He is so bad and such a threat to this republic that we need to silence him. They can do it to him. Just imagine what they can do to you. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue, is where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Great food, great people, great atmosphere, and you never know who you might see when you walk in. If you've not been just yet, what is wrong with you? What you waiting on? Come on out. Listen, I believe as a strong conservative in individual freedom and liberty. If you decide you want to live a deprived life, well, go ahead. Have at it. But for yours truly, give me my brisket sandwich with that marbled brisket. Ooh, look, she's over there going, yeah. Give me my brisket sandwich, marbled. Throw me in a side of that made from scratch mac and cheese or the bourbon baked beans. And this old South Louisiana boy, pardon the pun, is in hog heaven. Just saying. A little later today, podcast, Uncle Roy, today. I hadn't heard either. What? You got to come out to find out. Tomorrow, Bill Profita of the Exiles fame will be in the chair immediately following yours truly. So come on out. It's a great group of folks and a good time, not to mention good food. And you know, Finn will love this, the head chef. He is a Philadelphia boy by birth. I told him that we all have our shortcomings. We won't hold that against him. But he's been here long enough now to where he's got it down, y'all. He's got the Louisiana thing down pat. Come on out and give him a try. My time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, maybe more so than any other day ever, I give it to you. You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. You know that God loves you, right? And you know I do too. Then again, it really doesn't matter because there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Thank you, Marty.